Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here, and it is real. Raid and Assassin's Creed. One Creed, every universe. There's going to be a major Assassin's Creed collaboration coming to Raid Shadow Legends. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this and how to get ready. The collaboration was already leaked during the weekend, and now we have the official confirmation from Raid's own accounts that this is actually happening, and it's going to start this week, January 8th, 2026. So what you need to do to get ready for this? If you don't already play Raid, obviously you need to create a Raid Shadow Legends account, and thanks to Raid Shadow Legends who are sponsoring this video, I have this wonderful promo link that gets you the best possible start down below in the description. There in the QR code, new account with Tagoar at the start to support your campaign farmer, Venomage 15, Uugo at 30, Deacon Armstrong at 40, the best possible start to Raid. And you want to get started as soon as possible if you're interested in this collaboration, because there will be multiple champions and some of those can be tricky to earn, so the further you get in the game, the easier time you will have. So what is this collaboration going to be like? The teaser that was published today by the official account didn't include as much information as the leaked video that was longer included, but this teaser uses the exact same footage from the longer leaked video, so it's most likely 100% real. The teaser does show Ezio Auditore, and the longer video says that he is going to be the free login champion for everyone. So that was not yet confirmed in the teaser, but there's no real reason to doubt that. The leak video also says that this collaboration will last from January 8th until May 7th. Those dates may still be subject to change. I'm not confident that those are necessarily the final dates. They were only in the video description too, not as part of the video. But we can deduce that this is going to be a big, major collaboration. The low-quality longer video also showed more characters than the teaser, or at least they were more recognizable in the longer video. So it looks like we're going to get Ezio Auditore, Edward Kenway, Basim Ibn Ishak, Bayekov Siva, and Cassandra, possibly. Not 100% sure about all of these, but some kind of set of probably 5 Assassin's Creed champions, perhaps even more, are going to come to Raid in the very near future. So how are you going to get these champions? Plarium doesn't always reveal all the details early on. Sometimes we have to wait and see and guess on what's going to be like. But there have been many these sorts of major champion groups in Raid over the past 2 years, and there is a certain pattern on how you acquire them. For example, last autumn we had a major event with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, took several months. We got Michelangelo as our login champion, Donatello was from a fusion, Raphael was from a deck, Leonardo was from a path, April was from a Titan event, and Shredder was a first prize for a tournament win. Whereas Alice event, early 2025, Alice was a login champion, Mad Hatter came from a fusion, Knave of Hearts from a deck, and then there were 2 tournament first prizes, the Queen of Hearts and the Cheshire Cat. Whereas the Asgard event 2024, Loki was the login champion, Thor came from fusion, Freya was from a deck, and Odin was a tournament first prize. And Monster Hunter event, early 2024, Rathalos Blademaster was the login champion, Zinokra was fusion, Fatalis was from a deck, Alatron was from a path, and Ruinen Gigante Archer was for tournament first prize. So as you can see, there is certain logic into how Raid handles major collaboration events and these major champion groups and the various sources where champions are coming from. But how difficult are all of these to get? Login champion is the easiest. You need to log into the game. Typically you need to log in the game for 7 days, and on the 7th day you get the champion, but that doesn't require anything really. Then there's the fusion. Every such event has had a fusion champion. Fusion is barely doable in your first month of play if you know how to prepare for it, most notably saving your shards. And it's something that's easy for long-term, even free-to-play players. They can do every single fusion. Fusion is this sort of 2-week event that includes many smaller events. For new players, these smaller events actually scale based on your level. So when you're early in the game, you will have easier time to complete many of these, except for 2 events typically, which require you to spend shards. And that's why you need to really carefully try to save shards, because you need some really good shards in order to be able to complete the fusion, and that's where new players typically fail to complete it, or they will need to spend some money to complete it. Then there is a Deck of Fate. Deck of Fate, there are multiple ways that you can get points in that deck. Then you will just flip cards open, typically 40 cards, And the way the math works is that you usually need to flip almost all of them in order to get the main prize. That's just how they build it, because they split the main prize into fragments, and then there's fragments behind so many cards that just mathematically it requires you to do almost all of them. Typically you get points either from souls or from shards, so again saving those shards, and then some kind of energy based, so doing dungeons or something. Free to play can do a couple of these decks per year. Decks are much more resource intensive than fusions, and they need to skip many of them. Free to play cannot do every deck in the game, even if you're an established player. For a newer player, you practically have to spend. Hero's Path is even more difficult than a deck. It's an event that lasts for a few days, similar way to get points than a deck, even harder. Free to play can do 1 or 2 of these every year, and they need to skip many of these, and newer players especially, they will need to spend if they want to do this. And then there's the Titan event. Titan event is similar to a fusion. It's a couple of weeks long, but typically Titan event has some points that are in a deck or a path event, so you kind of have to do at least much of a deck or path in order to complete the Titan event fully, so that you would get the main prize, which the champion would be. So Titan event, it varies. Sometimes a newer player can do it, but it can be a little bit difficult. Also for free to play, sometimes it's just pretty easy, depending on how difficult of a path, for example, there is, but sometimes it's just really, really hard. And then there's the tournament first prize. There's usually 100 players in a tournament. Random group of players, the tournament requires you to grind a specific dungeon. For example, you get points every time you complete it, something like that. So around 1% of players will get this reward. Sometimes there are smaller tournament groups of only 50 players. It's not fully random. There are groups of players based on your account level. So as you keep playing the game, you typically get into more and more difficult tournaments because you're competing against other people who have played for a long time. But even if you're a new player, then the odds that if there's 100 players in a tournament and there's going to be one person who's willing to spend a lot of money to get that main reward is actually pretty high if the main reward is a good one. So yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to win that. And also in many of the tournaments, it's possible to just get all of the points at the very end. Not in one that requires you to do a dungeon, but there's some that require you to open shards or that require you to level up your champions, which you can do also with brews. So someone can have the resources and then just click, use those resources in a matter of minutes and just snipe the tournament. So tournament first prize is really difficult to get. The champions typically will also be available randomly from shards. So when you open shards, you have a chance to pick up the champion. But let's say if there's 300 champions available from a shard, then the odds to pick up that one specific one, that's not very great now, is it? Nope. So the availability of these champions can vary quite widely. Login champion, of course, is guaranteed. Fusion can be done with enough effort, but the rest maybe not so much. So depending on which champion comes from where, you may have an easy time getting your favorite, or it might be really, really hard. So that's what it takes, but is it worth it? We don't know about champions yet. We don't even have the list of guaranteed, what are actually the names of champions apart from Ezio. So we don't know who they are necessarily, and we definitely don't know what synergies they have together. Because last autumn we had this event with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, you kind of could expect, but I mean, putting them in the same team together, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and together they are so much stronger than apart. So they essentially gave newer players a year of progress because the team is so strong. However, previous collaborations and these sort of team-based things, not necessarily collaborations, but the Alice event, the Asgard event, the Monster Hunter event, there were some really powerful individual champions in these. Some of them are super, super good, but there were no teams like that, so nothing that would just fast-track you to success in the game, like Turtles did. So, if Assassin's Creed champions are like Turtles, and collecting multiple of them will result in a highly synergistic team that's just going to wreck all sorts of content, then they're going to be an insane top priority to collect, so you want to save everything just to get them. But if they don't have significant synergies, then there's probably going to be some strong champions. You want to see, okay, can I get that one because that one looks really good, or I just like that champion. but it's not essential to collect them all. Larium is going to release more information about the individual Assassin's Creed champions in the near future, no doubt, but for now we just need to wait a little bit and see what's going to happen. And start saving resources, start raid if you haven't already and you want to get involved with these Assassin's Creed champions, and get ready to pick up Ezio in the near future. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.